the products just to
Yeah.
get an idea. And there was a lot of great things there, and I'm excited about it. And it's like it's something that I don't know why. I just feel like I missed something somehow, you know?
Okay.
Like the gear bubble should be like pushed and stressed, I guess. I don't know, in a way, just for people to get easier acquainted to it, so that
Okay.
when they do the Etsy and the the Amazon and all that, then it'll be like, okay, I finished gear bubble, I already understand it. Okay, this is what I need to do to get myself going, with the, what was the other one that you put in the phrases or keywords, and then like then you make
Niche.
your own designs, like, so how to do that and the gear bubble, and then when you get more familiar with it, then go ahead to the next step. And what do you want to do at Amazon, Etsy, whatever,
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think yeah, because I still haven't gone through the programs and stuff.
Okay.
I was stuck in the loop. I took a break from it, and then I was trying to concentrate on the business, because that's my focus. I want to have the business, and that'll give protection also, because I have bigger plans, and I
Oh,
have a lot of businesses I want to open. It just kind of opened up a can of worms, because it's like stuff that I wanted to do. So now finally it's like it's pushing me to go ahead and do it, So I'm grateful for this
fantastic.
program and what you guys have going.
Well, we're grateful for you. That's Cecilia, everybody. If you're just new to our
Hello.
community, Cecilia has become a respected member of the crew here, and she is driving right now. So we're going to take that up, Cecilia. That's good stuff. Since it's Tuesday, let's see. Tenacious Tuesday. That's the topic. We're going to be tenacious today. What do you think, Missy? Can we do that?
Great.
Okay,
Yes.
let's do it. Yeah. So here's the welcome everyone to our daily success call. I'm John Lavinia, your host. All right. Now that that's out of the way, we've been live, by the way, for the last 2 minutes. So Cecilia got us started. Thank you, Cecilia. Um, here's what I could tell you is that having been an entrepreneur full time for some decades now, and by the way, not in any of the businesses that I originally started with. So we're going back 20 something years now. When I made my departure from corporate America and that whole scene into full-time entrepreneurship, there was an on-ramp. Okay. And like when we look at what obviously everyone here is doing, getting on board with e-commerce, more accessible e-commerce methods than others, I will tell you that most things that you could be doing are more complicated and costly than what you've selected here. So well done on that. But there are ways to scale up things like Cecilia was just talking about. She's got all these ideas, right? Which are, the impulse of thought, the impulsive idea, that is the basis for everything that we create, right? The thought precedes the deed, and the deed precedes, the fruits on the tree, right? So I fully expect that a year from now, Cecilia and I will still be in communication, and she'll be kicking so much butt in multiple areas because she's got these ideas, right? Now, if we're going to pity anyone, pity the person who sits there with no ideas, because ideas spring up from what? From our desires, our purposes, our goals. Look, everything that we're learning here. So Cecilia brought up the idea of, hey, here's Gear Bubble, here's Amazon, here's Etsy, here's all these different platforms, here's technology, here's all this stuff, these tools that we could use to execute and to fulfill some sort of a purpose. Okay, fantastic. And there's a learning curve there with each of those, just like Zoom. Right now, we got a lot of people on Zoom who are new to Zoom, right? And so there's a learning curve with that. How do I click the button? How do I select the proper microphone and turn the camera on? Okay, great. And that's going to become transparent the more you use it. I don't even see Zoom anymore, right? I see Jan and David and Katie and Missy and Cecilia and everybody else who's on camera right now. Hey, Jayton, good to see you, brother. I met Jayton, I think it was yesterday. Kim is here. Kim's awesome, right? She's having her snack. Hi, Chris, Jennifer. So we've got technical vias, or I could say modalities, right? That are the means to the end, but not the end itself. It's a necessary thing that we go ahead and we learn how to use our tools, but it's all based on a purpose. And if we didn't have the purpose, in other words, without a why, the how-to really doesn't matter. Anyone ever seen, or do you remember the Alice in Wonderland. It's an interesting example. Why would I bring that up? It was a book written by a guy who was, wiped out on LSD. But anyway, Lewis Carroll, he wrote about Alice's adventures in Wonderland. And there was this one line where, it was the Cheshire Cat. Anyone here from Cheshire? But a Cheshire Cat was saying, so, where are you going? She's like, well, I'm not really sure. Or, it doesn't really matter. He's like, well, then it doesn't matter which way you go. Right. So without the why, the how to, will insert method here. And that's what a lot of people do. They just willy-nilly, they insert tactics without having a strategy. Here's the thing. We've got a hierarchy. Okay. Think of it like an inverted pyramid or something, right? So the foundation of all this is the purpose, which we could say is the answer to the question, why? Why are you even showing up? Why are you even interested? Right. And then from there, we can look at strategies. So the purpose we could say would be singular, and we could have some offshoots from that, but that's a core foundational kind of a thing. And then strategies, we could have a couple of those, right? That could be, well, I want multiple streams of income. Great. That's a good strategy, right? I want to leverage earned income with capital gains. That's a fantastic strategy. In fact, I was just having this conversation with one of our groups of new members. I'm sorry, Jan, you've got your hand up. Jan, did you have something to interject? I don't want to neglect you.
I think maybe what I heard Cecilia was talking about was kind of the order of how things are, how we're getting all this in. It feels like it's not in order, or at least that's how I feel. And it's like, I understand Gear Bubble, but I don't understand how to open my store. So I think we're all in different spots, but maybe we're questioning the order and how it's all coming together.
Okay.
That's it.
Makes sense. Thank you. Thank you, Jan. So I'm going to touch on that and give you ways to create order. Because look, all success is orderly. Order in our mind, order on our calendar, your daily method of operation. Randomity does not bear fruit. Right? It does not profit you to be random or chaotic. Order is what we're after. So here's the order of it on a more broad survey, right? We're looking at the whole scene here. So there's the purpose, and then there's strategies, right? And then there's tactics, and you can have many tactics. And interestingly, because I've been in the online business space for so long, Denise, let me get these thoughts out of my brain, and then we're going to open it up. I've been in the online space so long that I've seen a lot of people chasing tactics. And you may have seen this yourself. Here's the, sorry, I got a little tickle in my nose here. Hopefully I don't sneeze all over you. Fortunately, we've got electronics between you and me. So yeah. So here's the, we cracked the code on the Facebook secrets. Anybody ever seen a sales pitch like that? Right? Or, here's the secret method of, how to do the internet, click the easy button and the gods will pour down riches upon you because of our special system, you see. And so these are tactics, but tactics only, we got a little background noise there on. Hey, Claudia, good to see you again. I just met Claudia.
I'm so sorry. I joined.
No worries. I got your mic muted for you. So here's the tactics, which are secondary or tertiary. All right. Tertiary means third in line. So primary, secondary, tertiary. Primary is the purpose. Secondary, we could say, would be strategies. Tertiary would be tactics. All right. And so many people fixate their attention on tactics. I need the tricks. I need the secret deal. This is where shiny object syndrome comes in. For any of you who have experienced that, right? Oh, one more thing, one more shiny thing that's going to solve all my problems for me and do for me what I am apparently not willing to do for myself, right? So remember, we talked about this the other day. Control and responsibility go together, right? If you give up one, you give up the other. Okay. But in order to execute and to fulfill your purposes more fully, you must not only accept greater responsibility and thereby gain more control, but you also must learn some stuff. The basis of all of this is that you know what to do. And so here we come to the main idea that was brought up with Jan and Cecilia. And I think Denise had her hand up. We'll get to Denise here in just a second. But the idea of what do I do? Here is, and to do that in a linear fashion, okay? Because again, order, right? Step A, step B, or 1, 2, 3, right? So we like to go in order. We like to create order. And when we're confronting any new topic, any new field of study, because others have been down the road further than us, longer than we have, there's a body of knowledge here, which is necessary. Okay. And then sometimes you're going to have to pick and choose based on your own purposes, what strategies and thereby what tactics are you going to employ to get this thing off the ground. Of course, the whole toolbox is there. I got this big, beautiful toolbox in my garage. I like to wrench on my own Harley, and I could change the brakes in my car. You guys know I used to be a diesel mechanic. So anyway, I still got lots of tools. I don't use them too often. And I guess that's the point, right? Is that I can open the drawer and see a wrench that I haven't touched in 10 years. But if I ever need it, it's there, right? So better to be prepared, right, than to be not prepared. Back to the original point. The point is that we also have the highest attendance yet on this session. Andy, if you're here, I told you this would grow from 5 people. We got 56 people on here right now, plus everyone on YouTube. Good to see you guys. Glad you're here. We're just getting going. There's going to be hundreds of people a day. Watch how this grows. So we've got the tactics, okay, but we got to create order out of all this. And because we tend to think linear, step A, step B, step C, and then when we confront all these possibilities, we got to put those in order for ourselves. A couple of ways to do this. Here's what we're going to talk about here today. A couple of ways to do this logistically, like in terms of your own personal operations, how you operate your business, as well as just mentally, right? Internally, how you can do this stuff. Because outward reflects the inward, right? So like what's going on inside of you is going to be reflected in what you do outwardly as well. So let me give you one example of something that I do to avoid overwhelm and confusion. Because as you guys know, I'm running 4 businesses. I am a friggin' madman. Okay. And that's just the way I like it. I am on purpose. Remember, the foundation is purpose, right? And I got various strategies, multiple streams, this, that, right? So, and then I can fit in tactics as needed, tools, if you will, to fulfill each of those strategies. But I have a calendar. I have a calendar. There's the ancient Oriental proverb that a man with a clock knows what time it is. A man with 2 clocks is never quite sure. Okay, so we have a calendar, and on this calendar, and it interfaces with the Google Calendar, the Microsoft Exchange Calendar, my Apple Calendar. It all synchronizes up through iCloud or whatever, right? But if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist. And I've proven that to myself again and again. You know what? I'm going to remember to do the other thing. Let me just put that in the back of my mind. It never happens. If it's not on my calendar, it isn't real. It doesn't exist. How do I know? Like, I've got some people I'm going to be meeting with today here with the low-hanging system, right, and also outside of this, like completely unrelated stuff. And I'm going to be meeting with some people here today on multiple purposes. Okay. How do I know to do that? It's on my calendar. Now, do you use a calendar? And I don't care if it's paper. I don't care. Like in my case, I like digital because I got all this digital stuff. I live on the internet pretty much. Okay. But is there something you can use to create order on your calendar and also in your mind, right? Write it down. Remember we talked about, Cecilia and everyone, we talked about a daily method of operation. Like when we first met, one of the first words out of my mouth, when you met this crazy Italian guy, I was talking with you about creating a daily method of operation. This is so primary. Not doing this will cost you millions. Let me tell you with no hesitation whatsoever, not doing this will, not might, will cost you millions. Okay. It is simply putting in some discipline, some order. If all success is orderly, then we like order. Okay. Putting in some order in your mind and on your calendar. What is the first thing that we do? And again, this has maybe nothing to do with e-commerce and everything to do with e-commerce. We sit and we remember why we're showing up, right? What's my goal? Where am I going? Right? Write it out, read it, review it, get quiet, stop talking, listen, meditate, do something quiet to get centered and to have a fresh piece of paper so you're not dragging yesterday into today. The overwhelm comes when we keep, having these incompletes. Think about anything that you've succeeded at, anything in your life that you've succeeded at, you've gotten it done. You started, you did the work, and then it was done. And then you said, oh, that's done. That's called success, right? So if we got these incompletes, we're dragging from yesterday into today, then that does not help you, right? So we got to start with a clean, fresh piece of paper, present time, present friggin' time, right now, as in right now, this moment, here's what I've decided I'm going to do. Okay. And then you make those decisions, because the way to kill a bunch of time and get nothing done is indecision. I can tell you, I have pissed away years of my life in a state of chronic indecision. What should I do? So back to Cecilia's original point, is a gear bubble first or this or that? You can make some decisions about that. The toolbox is all there. Okay. So you like to go ahead and really get grooved in with gear bubble. Fine, do that. Fantastic. Okay. And that could even be a suggestion you make if you want to go ahead and send a help at help at lowhangingecom.com. You can send your feedback. They're interested, by the way. You have a voice here, in case you were wondering. Okay. So they want to know, right? You're the client, right? You're the most important person in the whole damn company. You, not Rachel, you, right? She's just sharing her experience. Okay. But if you weren't here, none of us would be here. So consider that, right? And so we have order that we're creating in our mind right at the outset, part of our daily method of operation. Then what? Do some study, pick up a book, right? In fact, the first book I recommended for you, Miracle Morning, Hal Elrod, will directly help you create this morning routine, if you will, because how you start your day is how you experience the day. And sure, there's other random things that come in. Okay, but who's doing it? That's the big question. Oh, a high integrity person, a person who can give themselves a command. There it is on the calendar. Now I know what to do. Let me go ahead and do it before I could talk myself out of it. Done. My favorite 4-letter word. Okay, so we did a little bit of study, right? We put in some good stuff. So now we got some ammo. Great. What are we going to do? Well, let's get off our ass and let's get the body movement. Let's do some exercise. Now I had a bit of a challenging morning today. I still got some exercise in, hit the deck, did 50 push-ups, got my pull-up bar over there, got some lat exercise in after walking for 45 minutes with my wife and dogs. Okay, that's a done. So now that I'm moving, now what can I do? What was the fourth tip I gave you? Go ahead and take care of one income producing activity. That doesn't mean that it's going to bear fruit in the next 15 seconds. Okay, but it's something else that you can take to a completion, to a done, right? I got the gear bubble thing set up, not the entire program. Okay, but here's the entity, or here's the onboarding portion of that, or whatever the item happens to be. Remember, tactics are smaller and fit within your strategy. So the strategy is to have this business running. That's one of your strategies. Okay, great. So here's all the tactics that you're going to employ these tools, right? You're going to execute on. So now let's say you did that. Let's say you actually put in this daily method of operation to the point where you're now developing what's called a habit. A habit. This is so huge. These mountains of problems and complications and variables and things that not, okay, they become known, and the mountains get smaller, and now they're tiny little speed bumps. Now you don't even notice them anymore, and you're going faster and faster and faster. Why? Because you're competent. You're competent, right? And when we start anything, we are incompetent. Incompetent, right? I'm not condemning anyone here. I'm just letting you know this is just look, right? I'm incompetent. In fact, I'm incompetent right now in most things in life. I'm useless. There's a couple of things, Katie, that I'm really, really good at. I'm really good at these things. I'm among the best on the planet, and I suck at everything else, right? Fine, right? Sign me up, right? Develop your strengths and manage your weaknesses. And here's the thing. We're not all going to get good at all the same stuff, right? You guys are getting really good. Some of you have been here for a few weeks, right? You're getting really good at this whole e-commerce thing. You can navigate the tech, right? All the tech, whatever. Zoom, John's talking to me. How could anybody be confused with Zoom? I don't even see the buttons anymore, man. I just see John. Okay, great. You know what that's called? It's called competence. That's what that is, right? And you don't expend a bunch of mental energy with the ugly question of all ugly questions. What should I do? What should I do? Indecision. That will take you down. And that's why I say a daily method of operation, this can make you millions, right? Because the amount of time that most people squander wondering what they should do because they have no habits, no useful habits that are going to get them where they want to go, or they're sitting there deliberating with themselves all day and all night and whatever, right? That is, you want to kill a bunch of time. And that's where a lot of people end up. Okay. Not necessarily here in this community, because you're all here participating and kind of, filling your mind with orderly sort of ideas, on purpose ideas. And every person here is an on purpose person. Does that mean we're all going to go at the same pace? No. Does that mean you're going to master every single tactic? No. I have tools in my toolbox. Someday I'll take the computer down there. I'll show you my Harley and my toolbox just so you could see it for yourself, right? I'll do that right now. All right. So welcome to my house. Can you guys still hear me? Can somebody give me some feedback? Yeah?
Yes,
Thumbs up?
we can hear you.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
So let's go out here. Hopefully the downstairs isn't a total wreck. My daughter spreads. Like everywhere she goes, she spreads. There's my Bowers and Wilkins speakers. Anybody who's an audiophile knows what those are. Nautilus 802s. I'm going out. Beautiful sunny day here in Arizona. Hooray. All right.
110 degrees outside too.
That's right. It's a real treat. Look at this big, beautiful beast. Huh? Look at that, right? Check this out. Check this out, huh? Look at that. Yeah.
All
Tools.
in
Do I
order.
use all of these every day? Of course I don't. All right. Wait, look, I'm really proud of my wrench drawer. Look at that order. I like order. See that? Yeah.
Awesome.
Look at this. Look at this. I make a joke sometimes. This is my bikes. These are my bikes right here. Here's my daughter's bike right there. Yeah. She likes to ride. Actually, she does. She loves to ride on my Harley. So
Beautiful bike.
thank you. Thank you. And we got, by the way, we got these, talk about creating order. These things are the best $250 or whatever you could ever buy. I got one there and I got, who the hell is calling me right now? Decline. And I got two above the garage door. The garage door opens and like it does the thing, right? So there's that. And here's like the ultimate minivan, Chrysler Pacifica Limited. Oh my goodness, what a great car. All right, so now you know, color light. So now you know that I've got a bunch of tools that I don't use every day. Am I making a point? Maybe. The reason for me showing you this, number one, is to make it real. And number two, to let you know that there are certain things that you're going to get good at. I really know a lot about motorcycling and mechanical stuff, and I am really useless with lots of other stuff. Things like golf. But here's the thing. Back to the original idea that I was sharing with you. You want to develop your strengths and manage your weaknesses. Okay. When I first heard that from one of my mentors, I thought that sounded cool. Yeah, it's catchy, you know. All right, so develop my strengths. Well, I can do that, right? I can keep getting good, get more better, right? Or whatever at, you know, practice, do the thing that I'm already good at. Fine, I'm going to do that anyway. Manage my weaknesses. How do I do that? Maybe I should force myself to, like, you know, get good at stuff that I'd hate doing, or not sure. And then I got it. You manage your weaknesses via the strengths of others. I don't want a mirror, right? You don't want a mirror in your life. Every single person is all good at the same stuff. This is where leverage comes from. So you are good at that. Fantastic. You know what? I've got something called employees, right? And they get money to do things that I'm not good at, nor do I want to get good at them. I'm managing my weaknesses with the strengths of others. My video editing guy, man, he can do a video like boom, boom, boom. And he's got all the technology. It would take me 6 months just to learn how to use that program. Mildly interested, but not a good use of my time. Okay. So back to the whole idea of using tools. Everything that's been presented to you in the low-hanging system is done so in a way that you can use it on a gradient, right? And you can go as far as you want to go with that thing. And then it's also a stepping off point into advanced things or new combinations of things, because again, it's all about scaling. All right. So now that you're making, let's say, you know, 10,000 a month, right? What would be the higher, you know, plateau? What things could you add? Now that you're competent here and you've got momentum here, now we can add some other stuff. But none of this is going to happen without the foundation, which is what you're all working on now. Back to the original point, though, if we're confronting all of this at once, I just had somebody on our welcome call, just not an hour ago, maybe, who was saying, I'm already through most of the program and I am overwhelmed, confused. You know, I'm not going to put words in their mouth, but they, as I recall, that was the sentiment of it. Right. And so here's how to get unconfused. And I offered the same tips that we've talked about multiple times here. right? Make sure you, first of all, you understand the words, right? If I never, understood, what is, what is e-commerce? What does that word even mean, right? Then it'd be hard for me to use the data, right? Number two is to learn it and do it. In other words, commingle theory with practical application, right? Touch the wrench, touch the machine, do it, right? And then the theory becomes real for you, right? That's real now. And then, and the third thing is to go at a proper gradient, right? I know it's so tempting to cram. It's so tempting because it looks really nice up there on the top of the hill. But put the cape and mask in the closet, okay? Just get consistent. And that's why we're coming right back to the core thing, which has made me millions, which is a daily method of operation. I know what to do, and I'm doing it before I could talk myself out of it. And I'm getting a little bit better each day, right? There's the old Emile Coué. I know Missy knows this affirmation. Emile Coué was the French psychologist who talked about positive thinking. This is back in the late 1800s, I think. And he said, every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Is that something you can own for yourself? Is that something you could demonstrate? In fact, find evidence. Oh, look, I just got 1% better with the gear bubble thing. Oh, every day. Well, that's one way. What other way? Oh, you know what? I only did 1 push-up yesterday. Let me do 2. Whew, that's 100% improvement with your exercise. Fantastic. What other evidence can I find about how friggin' awesome I am? How else am I awesome? Oh, hold on a second here. You know what? I just cleaned my desk. That looks nice. By the way, since we're doing shows here, this is what I look at every day when I'm looking at you guys. So there it is. There's the workspace. Now you know. Oh, and there's some guitars and stuff. And DL, yes, I touch them every now and then just to dust them off and pick up a guitar pick and remind myself how I truly suck at guitar. And look, let's say that I was really like, man, I'm going to really do it. To what end? To what end, right? I get to, join another heavy metal band and be broke. Okay, fun. Okay, not profitable, but fun. Denise has had her hand up forever. So Denise, why don't I stop talking, if it pleases the group, and let's bring you out here, my friend. How is Denise today? Denise,
I'm doing great. I like to
good.
hear you talk.
Thank
Talk
you.
great.
I talk good. I got words. I got nouns,
You
verbs.
do. You do.
Yeah.
You have a lot to say all the time.
Mhm.
I just wanted to say something. So I've been doing the low hanging system for off and on for about 6 months. An illness came up, so I kind of stopped. But what I wanted to say is, for those that are a little bit confused with the whole gear bubble integration from gear bubble to Etsy, integration from gear bubble to Amazon, it might seem a little bit confusing at first, but hang in there and just keep figuring out how to do it. And once you figure it out, it's like, boom, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is so easy. I love it. And then you're just, from there, you're just like, I got it. And you're just on a roll. It's so great once you figure it out. And yeah, it is. For me, in the very beginning, I was like, what the heck is this? And how do you do it? But if you just follow the instructions, the training, the gear bubble training for integration for Etsy and Amazon, just follow the training. I know you don't want to, because like John said, you want to go from the bottom to the top really fast, but you can't. You just have to do the training. And once you do the training, you've got it, you're there. You start selling, you're making money. It's great.
Bam, that's Denise Jensen right there. She knows stuff. There you go. And she knows stuff that she didn't know a couple of weeks ago. That's the point.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So well done. I see Rebecca's quoting me. Put the cape and mask in the closet. Just be consistent. Best quote ever. Thank you. Rebecca, I never know what's going to come out of my mouth until I hear it. It's always very fascinating. Hey, Cynthia, you've got the floor. Thank you again, Denise. Hi, Cynthia.
Hey there, John, and
Hey.
everyone else. Hello. I just want to say, wow, thank you for sharing that. I think it was Denise, right? Just a minute ago. John, I love everything you're sharing, but I think I needed to see down the road a little bit, because I'm I'm experiencing the same thing that I've been hearing this morning too. And I feel like the clock is just ticking too fast for me to grasp everything I need to get, while these things like watching you and participating with Denver and, you know, all these other bonus things that we're doing. But it's going so fast. I just feel like I can't grasp it fast enough. So thank you to Denise, I think it was, who shared the vision down the road a little bit.
Beautiful. Thank you, Cynthia. And look, let me acknowledge you, because you are grasping the spirit of this, right? And there's something that Napoleon Hill talked about in his classic Think and Grow Rich. He talked about the QQS equation. So quality, quantity, and spirit of the service you provide. So Q, quality, Q, quantity, S, spirit of the service you provide. And he talked about how you can have quality and quantity, and those two things are important, but the spirit of the service that you provide. So in what spirit are you going forth into the marketplace, and are you doing your work, right? Think about this, Cynthia and everyone. A lot of times people will stay in, let's say, a job, right, where they're underpaid and whatever, but part of their emotional pay, which is true here as well, which is one of the reasons why we do this. Okay, so you're not all alone, you know, staring at a computer screen, right? So part of our pay is the emotional or psychic pay that we get from working cooperatively with others and being on purpose, on a mission, right? You think about some of the crap that people deal with in certain professions, right? Firefighters, military, right? So without a common mission or something, nobody would do that job, right? So not that this is, you know, necessarily as grueling as, you know, what is that deadliest catch, right? Catching the crabs, right? These guys are like dying out there in the Atlantic or the Alaskan waters, right? Right.
Bering Sea.
Yeah, the Bering Sea, right? And holy crap. And so, but you know, there's a bit of a thrill and a camaraderie to that. So this is part of like the whole experience you're having, which ultimately leads to you making money, right? Is within an environment, hopefully one that you can grow in, right? You take a perfectly healthy acorn, we can name the acorn Cynthia, right? And we can throw it into a glacier in Alaska or something, and it's going to die, right? I don't care how healthy the acorn is, it's going to die. Or here's some nice fertile ground, right? And where you're not alone, and where you've got other on-purpose people. And then, yeah, we're all going at different paces a bit. But my goodness, you ever see geese fly, right? The geese, and you know, there's the one in the lead, and there's the other ones, wah, 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 right? They're doing the thing. And then when one gets a little bit tired, he falls back. Here comes the other one in front, right? But they all keep the pace. Why? They're not going alone. It's a whole different experience.
So good.
Enlightenment.
So good. You're right.
Yeah.
That's what I love about this group. And I hope we don't have to leave in just 2 weeks.
I'm going to give you a free pass, Cynthia.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah, just you. Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I'll keep showing up. You guys could keep showing up too. Bring a friend, whatever. Hey,
And thank
Becky's
you for
got
putting it on YouTube too. I appreciate that very much. I've been reviewing some that I was just before me. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. And that was deliberate. There were some questions about, hey, John, you know, what if this leaks? I'm like, I hope it does. I hope it does. Is this message useful for the public? My goodness, yes. Compared to the crap that people are polluting their minds with these days. I'm not going to go down that road right now. Maybe we could talk about that tomorrow. Becky has the floor. Hi, Becky.
Hi, John. This has been so helpful today. Thank you. Really positive and motivational. And I just wanted to, because you mentioned at the beginning of this call about us needing to think about things on a timeline. And I'm kind of quite visual, and I've drawn something which has been really helpful for me in terms of just a line and then the various steps that we need to take. And I've got to take some other steps because I'm in the UK, and so I pulled out the things that I need to deal with in the kind of order that I need to deal with them. And so this is, I thought I don't know if I can show this to everybody, if it's helpful or not, but so I've kind of set up a company. I actually don't need to do that, but I've kind of set up each of the individual things that I need to do. And then when I've done them, I can tick them off. So I can see out of all the things I need to do, if I've done 2 or 3 of them, and it kind of really helps me anyway. It's a tool that I use because I can see the total picture of what I need to do, and I can tick off the things that I've done, and I know what the next step is that I need to do. So I don't know if that's helpful, but I thought
Yes,
I would
it's
just
helpful.
That's
We
a
just
great
talked about
schematic.
creating order.
you know, it
There's
helps me.
order
It's
right
kind of
there.
just like a schema. Yeah, exactly. So I could, if it helps, I could take a photo and post it on the Facebook group. It might be help. People can kind of do their own versions, but it might just give a bit of an idea of something that was helpful for me.
I love it.
Perfect. Yeah.
Becky, fantastic. Oh my goodness. And you see what else she just did there? She took ideas, impulses of thought from the ethers, right? And reduced them to physical writing. So now that's more real for her. Okay. And it's also actually a proof, a demonstration that we could take an idea and make it real, which may sound a little bit mystical for everyone here, but what else are we doing? Here we are on the internet, which is what? Which is just a communication via, right? It's just technology, but we're going to cause what? We're going to have an effect. We're going to have people giving us money, right? That's what this is all about, exchanging with us for the value that we can provide, which didn't exist yesterday. None of this existed yesterday. The internet didn't exist a few years ago, right? And yet here we are creating something out of nothing. This is, look, guys, if you get this, is a very powerful consideration that you are in fact causing all of this. So kind of a big, kind of a heavy trip, but chew on that for a while and see what you come up with. I've been working on it for 30 something years. I haven't arrived yet. All right. Who else? Anybody else want to talk today? Commence talking. Clara, you have a comment? Missy's
No.
got to say something.
I'm still trying to get the Amazon account online. I was having a lot of troubles with it. And from the help desk, Anna, she helped me last night. It was wonderful. So I'm going to work on it today. I've got Gearbubble already set up, but now I need to do the Amazon. I'm from Canada, and it was giving me problems. So,
oh yeah,
but
they're pros at that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's gotta-
Amazon is very good at creating difficulties. For you, so.
I call it baby steps for me, baby steps,
Right.
and I'll learn the system as I go, a little bit every day.
Right. And then those baby steps are going to get bigger. Watch, you start
Yes.
having a compounding effect, and
Yes.
incremental increase turns into exponential. Really cool.
Yes.
Good stuff. Missy, you have some closing comments for us? Would you like to leave us with a
Well,
profundity?
I don't know if it's profound, but I found just in time in one of the books. Yesterday, I fell off the mountain right after our
Oh.
call, and metaphysically speaking.
Okay.
And in the book that I was reading, it had the word fear. It said an upside to fear, and it took the letters. And F now needs to stand for focus. E is emotional commitment. A is action, and R is responsibility. And I'm still climbing back up, but I'm getting there. It was a big fall, it was a big drop, but that acronym, there is an upside to it. And if you are willing to make it into that, you're going to create it into that by not letting it overcome you. That's basically it.
Thank you, Missy. And I know what book you're quoting. That is The Power of Consistency by Weldon Long.
I couldn't remember which one. Thank you. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. That's the one. It's one of the ones I recommended. Great book, by the way. That's why I recommended it. That's a guy who spent 13 years in prison and is now a multimillionaire.
Jail guide. The jail
Yep.
guide.
Sorry, what was the name of the book?
Power of Consistency by Weldon Long. It is one of the 5 books I told you to buy like on day one. Just buy them. All right. You'll thank me later. By the way, one of the other ones that has come up recently in conversation is Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, especially with the considerations that a lot of people have with now we're transitioning from employee where I had no risk, no responsibility or very little, right? And now I'm taking on, by definition, right, more risk and responsibility. What is an entrepreneur? Look in the dictionary. It says one who assumes greater than usual risk for the purpose of business or profitability, right? That's what an entrepreneur is, right? So there's these considerations about, can I have my entrepreneurial greatness while at the same time maintaining the employee mindset? No. So there's some good reading in there as well. It's a big jump. And look, I honor you guys, and that's why we're here, because we're making a huge leap from, again, from effect to cause, from consumer to producer, from employee to entrepreneur. It's a huge jump. We could talk more about this tomorrow. We're going to go ahead and wrap up for today. Cecilia, I hope you got some food for action in there and what we talked about. I hope you're driving safe. I will look forward to seeing you all again in just 23 and a half hours or whatever it's going to be. In the meantime, go through a lesson, get with your accountability rep, get through the accelerator, right? A little bit each day, It's all it takes. And then I will look forward to seeing you again real soon. I love you guys. Have a good one. Bye for now.
Thank you, John.